Hello, Order Magazine. My name's Jane Hilton. I'm a photographer and filmmaker, and I'm really lucky to be seeing a really wonderful subject matter and a good mate, Marcos, who's going to introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marcos Matos. I go by Victoria Mateo in drag. I met Jane a couple years ago, and she's absolutely amazing. If you have not gotten shot by her for any photo shoots, then you're missing out. She's absolutely brilliant and so fun to work with.
Oh, that's so sweet, Marcus. It feels like because of COVID, it was literally a year ago, maybe a little longer, maybe about 14
Oh,
months
a little bit
ago.
longer. Mhm.
Yeah, and maybe a bit more than that, yes. And it feels to me so far away, being grounded in London and not being out into the desert in the American West with you. And we had that wonderful shoot, and we were at sunset, and it was beautiful, and the light was gorgeous. And we went to a ghost town in my Mustang, which was, yeah, it was all oh no, we didn't go in the Mustang, did we?
No, we went for Alexis's shoot in the Mustang, and for my shoot, we took my car because we had so many people.
That's right. And we went out
Mhm.
to that ghost town called Nelson, which is an
Yes,
itty bitty town, and that's kind of towards Boulder, isn't it?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And had you been there before?
I had not, so it was a completely fun experience. When you told me where it was, I researched it. I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be exciting! This is great!" Because you got to see like all the things that they have, like all these rusted cars and these different buildings that you could shoot by. So it was amazing. So I was really excited by it.
Yeah. And they gave us somewhere to change, which was really cool. And you wore that amazing, like, I don't know, would you say pale pink, like blush dress? Was absolutely stunning. Have you worn that since?
Um, I think maybe for a show, like I would do like maybe like a nice slower number with it. But I think I've probably only worn it once since then.
Yeah. So were you nervous when we got to shooting it?
I wasn't so much nervous as far as excited, just because once you're on location and everything's going, your adrenaline's running, and then it was kind of like halted because you were just like, no, I want more natural poses, more natural. Um, no, Jaded, because it turned out amazing. But I was so used to just being more in like a regular drag setting where we're just hyper posing and everything was super high fashion and you wanted things more relaxed, very natural feeling. So it was a very different experience, which I definitely enjoyed as well. And the pictures turned out beautiful because of it. So
It was
you
a
had like a real feel.
I have to say, I think you were very brave. It was a leap of faith. Even though I'd shown you some of my work, I think you realized that I wasn't going to have loads of artificial lights and they weren't going to be retouched. So what did you think when I pulled that old camera out?
I said, whoa, that is some good old technology at its best right there. But I also thought it was really cool because I'd never shot with anything other than like cameras of the time. So it was really cool, especially seeing how the process worked, how you had to like check the lighting again, double check the lighting again, check the lighting again, and it was just a fun process. And Kelly with the reflector, just trying to get the perfect lighting was just a fun experience.
Yeah. Were you worried that I wasn't going to do all your makeup justice?
No, because I know you mentioned black and white, and I knew that my features would pop out in black and white. I was more nervous for the color shots where I'm normally used to painting in like bright, beautiful colors, and you wanted more subdued, more natural style feeling makeup. So that was what I was more worried about, was if it would translate the same. without being retouched or like the best lighting in the world. So it actually turned out really great. So high five for you, Jane, for the suggestions.
Thank you. Well, I feel like I have to thank the American West for its most beautiful light, because not sure you could do that in London, but anyway. No, it was cool. It was a really good experience. But I do remember, because you really wanted to wear your full makeup that you perform in,
Yeah.
don't you? And
Yes, I felt more comfortable that
no.
way.
Yeah. So the more makeup, the better for you.
Well, obviously I'm mostly performing at night. So, and some of the venues may not always have a spotlight or the best spotlight. So when you're performing in that kind of setting, you want to have like all the makeup on. So no matter where the audience is in the venue, they can see your makeup, especially if it's in the dark. So that's what I was used to. So having and doing shows out in the sun is definitely not something that I'm used to. So definitely having a lighter makeup definitely probably made the shoot a lot better in the long run.
Yeah, no, I think so. Well, we got shortlisted for the Sony World Photography Awards with it. So you definitely did something really good. And what about?
Well, I think everybody else liked it too.
Yeah.
Remember, we had so many scares as I walked out of the building, and everyone's just like, "Who is that girl in that dress walking through the desert?"
Yeah, and all the
So
tourists started to arrive and take photos of you. Yeah, well, tell me about your signature eyes. You know, those lenses that you put in.
well, pretty much, I actually started wearing them about 3 or 4 years ago because when I noticed when I started doing my makeup, for some reason I couldn't stop the bottom of my eyes from crying. It was just very weird. No matter what I did, it's not very often that I will not wear them because of that. I just feel like it probably puts like a special block or something, but for some reason I don't cry with the contacts on. So I just started wearing them, and then I started wanting to play with all colors because I love color, especially in makeup. So, and I feel like the brighter my eyes are, the more dramatic, and I'm inspired by anime. So I wanted these big, bright, colored eyes, just like the animes that I watch, and pretty much I just kept going from there, just trying out different colors that I like.
Yeah, they're very beautiful and they're very striking. It makes you look quite different to some of the other drag performers, I think.
Yeah, I like a very doll like kind of overall stare. Like you look and you're like, oh my God, that looks like a doll. It looks like a cartoon character. So that's kind of where my aesthetic goes to.
Do you have, so who do you look up to in drag at the moment?
Well, obviously my drag mother, AlexisMateo, she's a big influence in my life. Just watching her just blow up from just a regular drag queen in Florida to where she is right now is very inspiring. I hope one day to be as successful, if not, just do what I love doing. And that's really what I love about Alexis. He lives every day like it's his last day, and he really does do what he loves. And that's what inspires me to keep doing drag and eventually one day do the same.
Tell me about your hair. I don't remember it being that long.
No,
No, not that long.
I think it was probably about maybe right here the last time you saw it. We got
Yeah.
a couple more inches there. But pretty much I started growing it out right before I really realized that I wanted to do drag more. And I didn't know how long I wanted it, but as a kid, I had my hair pretty long until I made my mom cut it. It wasn't long hair wasn't the thing at the time, so I really wanted it short. And but as it got longer and longer and longer, and I got older, I just appreciated more. Now it's almost down to my booty. So, and in drag, I call myself the Cuban Pocahontas because I'm Cuban, and a lot of people sometimes will ask me if I'm Native American or if I'm Hawaiian or if I'm Philippine. So it kind of just worked out that way. And Pocahontas was one of my favorite Disney movies.
Tell me about, so you've been in Vegas now 2 years. You and Alexis have just celebrated your 2-year anniversary in Vegas.
Yeah.
So you're much more settled in than when I last spoke to you. So do you feel native in Vegas now?
I do. I have my ID. I have a car. I have an apartment now. So me and Alexis are no longer mates in our apartment or in this house. I have my own apartment now. So that's a big difference. So I have a full-time job here. I have friends now. So everything's come full circle since the last time you've been here. It was really quick.
Oh, wow. And did you manage to get your dogs? Did you get the dog?
Unfortunately, no.
Not yet.
No, no, not yet. So I'm hoping and praying soon. Actually, I'm going down to Florida soon, so.
So that will be good. And what's the difference? I know I asked you this on the day because I was absolutely fascinated. Coming from Florida, you and Alexis, in like having done the whole drag circuit over there, and to Vegas was a dramatic shift in drag. Can you tell me what the shift was and what is the difference between drag in Florida to drag in Nevada?
Well, one, the weather. So if you've never been to Florida, it's very humid. So, and in Vegas, it's very dry. So makeup products had to change. Definitely had to drink a lot more water, especially if you're performing, because I would get dehydrated so much faster than I ever did in Florida. As far as the drag scene goes, well, here in Vegas, everybody is in some sort of form of entertainment. So it's kind of like the drag queens here are just another part of entertainment here. We're not looked at as anything strange. We can literally leave our houses in drag and almost nobody will really bat an eyelash except to say, hey, you look really nice. I like that. Whereas in Florida, it's kind of like, oh my, they're so interested in, like, it's confusing because you only really see it in the nightlife or if you go to like pride events. So it's a very different experience. All forms of entertainment here in Vegas are accepted, are valid, are encouraged, and I like that here.
Do you feel more comfortable in Vegas?
Actually, I do. Well, for me, it was like starting over again, which sometimes is always great. In Florida, most people knew me from the time I started drag. And so I was for a lot of people just seen as little baby Victoria, whereas here in Vegas, everyone got to see me just as myself, got to see what I was able to do. And that was a good change. And it made me feel a lot more confident in myself, that I wasn't seen as just a little baby newcomer drag queen. I was a full-fledged drag queen, just able to get my own bookings and, perform. So that was great for me as well.
Do you still perform with Alexis in Vegas or only occasionally?
I still perform with him on his BAM Fridays at Charlie's, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But I also do branch out and perform at other places now. So
That's good. That's good. So tell me, have you got any new outfits? What have you been making recently? Because I know you guys have always got an outfit in the wings being made. Is there anything you can show us?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me go grab something real quick. Ah!
What have you got?
So this is like one of the costumes that are newer that you hadn't seen yet. It was very inspired by the Harajuku girls in Japan. Because along with that, I normally have these little pigtails that I wear because I wanted to really emulate the style of Japan, which is, very big for me. It's one of my dream destinations. So hopefully one day I'll be able to go. and pretty much I have these hair pieces that I've made. So along
Ooh.
with that costume, a gigantic.
Oh, they're fab.
Very.
That's fantastic. Well,
So
you're
I
going to have
normally
to
wear
wear
that
those.
together with that.
Marcus, you're going to have to wear that next when I'm back. We'll do a
Yes,
photograph with
yes.
that because that is wonderful. Love that.
No, I always wanted like a very like Harajuku look. So when the opportunity came to make something, it was like I was very excited about it. I also have, well, I call it now kind of like my Mortal Kombat outfit. It's like a dance costume
That's
that
very
has like
cool.
this um, really cool kind of jacket. It's decorated kind of similar, and it has like a cute little bow in the
Oh,
back.
wow. That's
Like I said,
amazing. Did you make that one?
no, actually, my drag grandmother, Alicia Markstone, made that one.
You lot are so
So she's an
clever.
amazing, yeah, she's an amazing seamstress. I'm so blessed to have so many amazing people around me because I work full time during the day. So I don't really have as much time as Alexis to make costumes. So I stone all of my costumes, but as far as making them for the better part, I rather just hand it to somebody else and they make me something completely amazing and I just stone the crap out of it and make it shiny.
I don't blame you, but I love that outfit. The bow on the back's fantastic.
Thank you. Also, I was still Miss Fabulous International. I do pageants, so I'm actually giving up that title next month. So I was finally able to host the pageant again. So since we weren't able to do it in 2020 because of COVID, so I'm still currently Miss Fabulous International 2019-2020, at least for another month until we host the pageant again. It's going to be hosted here in Vegas, just like last year. So it's on May 30th. So if you're able to come, Jane, come.
May 30th. Do you think they'll have
May
opened
30th.
up? Oh, May 30th.
Yeah, well, I believe in June it's going to be 100% capacity. But if you're able to travel in May, that's when my step down is. So, and we'll crown another Miss Fabulous International.
Could you just put on the crown for me? I want to see the crown. I want to see it on.
Well, it won't fit exactly because I normally have a bigger hair, but essentially
that's so fantastic. And why is it so tall? Why is it? Is there a reason for that? There's just like.
Well, no, all crowns are made different. Whether they're tall, short, completely blinged out. I have like a couple of different styles of crowns, depending on the system or the pageant that I won. But always as a drag queen, you always want something just gigantic. Something that when you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, I want it. So
it's a bit of a kind of game as to the bigger the crown, to the bigger the win.
Well, no, because obviously the crowns are very important, especially as a pageant queen. But really, you do the pageants because you believe in either the system or you believe in what the pageant represents. Or sometimes for some queens, it's just literally the prize package that they get at the end if they win. So.
Oh, that's really cool. I love the crowns, I have to say. I didn't know you'd won that crown. That is
Yeah, I had actually won it 2 weeks after I moved to Vegas.
Wow.
They had a pageant and everyone's like, well, you should enter. I'm like, well, I don't even have all my stuff yet. I just came with a couple suitcases and they're like, well, just try to win with whatever you have in your suitcase. And somehow I ended up winning, so. I guess I brought enough things to win.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's so brilliant. So So that is that your next big event, the pageant?
For me, yes. May 30th is my step down for Miss Fabulous International. It's actually the last real thing in pageantry that I've done since quarantine. So I'm excited, sad because I've had it for 2 years. Normally you host that you hold the title for a year, and then the next year they crown a new queen. So this is the first time I've ever had a title for longer than a year. So so it's like a bittersweet moment.
Yeah, I was going to say bittersweet. Well, I suppose it's that COVID thing now that we're all just
Yeah.
trying to move forward. Yeah. Well, at
Yeah,
least
so pageantry is coming back. It's
good.
coming back slowly, so everyone's excited. People fly across the country just to watch a pageant because they haven't seen it in so long. So that's always great.
And are the Americans flying everywhere at the moment?
I believe we've still been flying, but a lot more cautiously. I know that masks have just been the standard everywhere they go and social distancing. But as far as I know, the flight industry hasn't stopped. It just everything just slowed down, I would say.
And have a lot of people in Nevada had their vaccine now?
Yes, actually, right now, as far as I am aware of, all of Nevadians are able to be vaccinated at this point, because Nevada right now is a very small place as far as population goes. We're mostly all desert, so unless we're vaccinating the cactuses, there's enough for everybody here.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing you. Um, I would love to make the pageant, but I've got a horrid feeling that's not going to be possible just yet. But it's going to be soon. It's definitely going to be soon, Marcus. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to some more photography and going out into the desert with a new outfit and a new crown, and yes, doing something else.
No, I would love that too. If not, I'd like to go across the other side of the pond and see London and have shoots with you there. That'd be great too.
Yeah. Well, thank you ever so much for joining and being part of this interview with Oda magazine, and such a great magazine. So thank you, Oda, for asking me.
Yes,
And
thank you, Oda. Thank you for having us both. I love this experience. And if you ever need me for anything else, just call me.